I'm gonna go grab that sheet.
Some of our system, you gotta have a password to get over the website.
Okay, nobody signed up for the agenda.
Okay, mics are on. We're hot. Thank you.
They were hot.
Yep.
It's a little warm, so you can't warm.
Whatever.
We're just taking our turn before you get started. Did you do that?
What?
The band should right now.
The nuances in that, though.
It is 6:30 in the evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Hall, can you give us a blessing, please, sir?
Let's pray. Living Heavenly Father, we come to you in this season recognizing, Lord, your death and resurrection, and we recognize, Lord, what you've done for us and how you've blessed us and gave us your grace and mercy. And we just pray, Lord, that you give us mercy and grace as we go through this evening, as we share with one another and we plan and we think of our city and the importance of our city being ready to grow and to move forward in all the functions of our different departments. We thank you for each of them. We pray your blessing upon them, and we thank you for their sacrifice, their willingness to serve our citizens. And we just pray right now, Lord, that you be through this meeting. May we not have difficulty, but be in unity as we advance what needs to be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good, thank you. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Hall,
Here.
Councilmember Chapman,
Here.
Councilmember McMahon,
Here.
Councilmember Hefner,
Here.
Councilmember Brooke,
Here.
Councilmember Rubel.
Here.
And we have a quorum. First on the agenda tonight is review and approval of the council meeting minutes from February 20th, 2020. I'd entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the special meeting for March 4th, 2024. I'd entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Motion.
Okay, we got a motion, we have a second? And we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on our agenda is the department reports and financials. I'd entertain a motion to approve as they're presented. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Planning Commission report. Go on forward, Mr. Jerry.
Good evening, everyone, Mayor and City Council members. Last month, we did not have any new business, so we spent all of our time with the UDO, and we focused most of the stuff that we were dealing with was with how we're going to rezone the city of Ward. I know none of you were there, but I know that we're going to have a meeting this coming Monday, and at that point in time, we'll continue that work, and I want to encourage you all, if you can, to make it, but then we will also put together a schedule for all the public hearings, presentations, means of communication, and all those things that we're going to be doing as we get ready to go to the unified development ordinance. And that's all I really have to say at this time, unless anybody has any questions.
I entertain a motion to approve the planning commission report as presented.
Motion.
Motion, second.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On the agenda, but not on screen, is the Water Wastewater Advisory Committee report. We don't have a committee established at this time. I have extended the time period when we had 2 people who put their name in. I'm just going to see if there's any more to want to get involved before we actually sit down and get the committee going. But that will be a monthly segment on our agenda from that point on, whether there's any business or not. We'll just cover it since will be a standing committee. So moving forward, we have old business and new business, actually kind of bunched in one. If you'd read ordinance or read title for ordinance 2024-03.
An ordinance repealing and replacing ordinances 2014-07, 2014-07-1, 2019-09, and 2023-02, prescribing a change in the rates to be charged for water and services rendered by the water and sewer system of the City of Ward, Arkansas, and prescribing matters relating thereto.
Council, this was the ordinance that we worked on in a working group session following the Act 603 or 605 report. I would open up the floor for discussion. I believe, Ms. Hafner, you have a discussion on the reconnection fee.
Well, my suggestion was for city residents, it'd be $25, because that's what we discussed in the very beginning. And the $50 would be for outside of city limits.
And then $100 regardless
Yes.
after hours.
After hours, 100.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to set the reconnection fee during normal hours for in-city at $25 and $50 for outside city limits. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. With that, any further discussion on this? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to put the ordinance 2024-03 on its first reading.
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman,
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke,
Yes.
Councilmember Rubel.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-03 has been approved on its first reading. Council, I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules on second and third reading.
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor of suspending rules, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
We have one opposed. Show Ms. Hefner is opposed. I'd entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2024-03.
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Chapman,
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke,
Yes.
Councilmember Rubel,
Yes.
and Councilmember Hall.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-03 has been approved with the effective dates as presented in the ordinance. Thank you, council. Next on the agenda is ordinance 2024-05. Would you read the title, please?
An ordinance repealing and replacing City of Ward ordinances 2007-10 and 2007-10-01, designating places for the posting of ordinances, prescribing other matters related thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Council, this is a housekeeping. This is the ordinance that shows where we post out the ordinances in the city. We did a review and made a couple changes on it. It's supposed to be for the most populated, most visited areas, and we took the bank out. Nobody goes to the bank much anymore. So, and added rocks, bait, and tackle to the mix, and we now have nice clipboards that we post everything on. So, let me find. So, any further discussion?
I have some
Yes.
questions. The old one said, I believe, 30 days in advance it has to be posted?
I don't think so.
Okay. But this one has no timing?
No, this one, the law says you have to post either in a newspaper or at 5 places in your city if you don't have a newspaper. The 30 days, I think, is if we don't pass the emergency clause, it goes in effect in 30 days from posting.
Okay, and the reason I said no before was ordinance not being posted, people do not know about it, therefore they can't come to the council meetings and voice their opinion if we do the emergency clause.
But it's already been, for enactment, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. That's why y'all get paid the big bucks to make those decisions if we have to have an emergency clause, if it needs to be enacted right now. I will tell you, I'm going to pull the emergency clause off of this one. It is really needed. Emergency clause is normally reserved for true emergencies. This one doesn't need it. It can go into effect in 30 days. We're still going to post them out anyway.
Okay, well, I thought it said 30 days back in the old ones, and since a lot of times we don't get ordinances until the day of, I was like, how is that going to work?
This has nothing to do with that. This is posting after the fact, after you've approved them.
Oh, okay, so they don't know of anything that's coming up unless they look at the agenda.
Correct.
Okay,
Now, there's no mechanism, I mean, other than we post them out onto Facebook and, our website through you all, and if anybody wants a copy of it, obviously we can give them a copy of it. But
Okay.
this is for the law after the fact, after it's approved by you.
okay.
All right, any further discussion?
I'd like to see rocks taken out and put Dollar General there as a place.
Dollar General will not post them
Why?
because it's corporate policy. We can't get anything posted. We had to post, if we have a flyer for some community event, we got to put it on the ice machine out front. They will not post it inside. Yeah, I'd love to.
And did we remove Duke's Place?
No, it's in there.
No, it's on the-
That's on there. So it's the city hall, the post office, Rock's Bait and Tackle, Circle K convenience store, and Dude's Place. And I personally took a new clipboard with some nice little sign on bottom that says city ordinances to each of them and talk to each of them. They're putting them up in public areas that they can see. And out at Dude's Place, there's a table out there for the quote-unquote old men to sit around and drink coffee. It'll be right there so they can read them and discuss them, whatever they want to do.
What about the ball fields?
Pardon me?
What about the ball
Oh,
fields?
we can
Like a-
post them wherever. These are what we say we can post. If we want to post them at additional places, we can. I mean, at the concession stand? Yeah, that'd be no problem. That's our property anyway. Yeah, we can do that.
I feel like more people go there than come here.
This is very true. Very true. That's a good idea. We can do that. That's not a problem. Any further discussion? If not, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2024-05 on its first reading.
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McMahon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner,
Yes?
Councilmember Brooke,
Yes.
Councilmember Rubel,
Yes.
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
and Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-05 has been approved on its first reading. I entertain a motion to suspend the rules for second and third reading.
Motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2024-05.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hefner,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke,
Yes.
Councilmember Rubel,
Yes.
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman,
Yes.
and Councilmember McMahon.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-05 has been approved, and like I said, I've withdrawn the need for the emergency clause. Thank you, council. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2024-18. Would you read it?
A resolution implementing the City of Ward policy on public access.
Council, I gave this to you in draft last time, and I sent you an email when we actually implemented it because of the situations we've had. Just yesterday, we had an individual walking up and down our hallways, videotaping and saying all kinds of stuff. This is a very good policy for us. It's a very good policy for all cities to have, and Municipal League is pushing this, and we got to have this. So, any discussion?
No, you said somebody was walking up and down the,
The
so
hallway.
this will block anybody from
No,
public access?
no, no. It identifies, on the attachment, identifies what areas, offices are limited access, restricted access. But the hallway, that's public access. She can walk up down there all day long and videotape all she wants.
That's kind of poor example then.
Excuse me?
So that's kind of poor example then of what this ordinance is trying to, or the resolution is trying to pass.
You need to turn your mic on.
Well, I've noticed that we've already got number of key codes on the doors.
Pardon me?
There's already keypads on the doors.
Right.
So what does this do that the keypads don't do?
Well, just like my office. My office is designated as limited access, authorized personnel only. If I invite somebody in my office, like a news crew or even that lady, if she wants to come in and videotape me there. But if not, then that's limited access. She's not allowed to come in there if I don't invite her in there. But she can stand outside the doorway and videotape that area. Now, if she wants to start videotaping near the water or wastewater or court area, no, because there's sensitive information that she could videotape that we don't want to get out to the public. It's not to squelch their ability to exercise what they call their First Amendment rights, but it's to exercise our ability to control what is being viewed and how it's being viewed. We don't want somebody walking out to the wastewater treatment plant and videotaping because it's dangerous out there. It's protect us and them. We now have a set policy that our employees go off to. Just like yesterday when I walked out of the supply room and I saw her, I said, how's it going today? And she's just filming away and started calling me all kinds of names and followed me down to my office, told her I had a good day and walked into my office. And she went the other way and I was more names being called. But we didn't, confront her, and she went on out the building.
So basically, this is identifying the areas for public,
Yes.
knowing what areas are limited, what areas is public that it can be on.
Right. That way there's no ambiguity, there's no questions,
No gray areas, it's.
no gray
said-
areas, just there.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's good policy.
I think it's an excellent policy that I think all cities, I don't know if BB has this policy, but BB's had this incident with the same individual.
Yeah, we've had that issue, but we have locked door areas and we just don't
True.
let them in there.
True. But anyway, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2024-18 as presented.
Motion. Second.
A motion second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brooke?
Yes.
Councilmember Rubel?
Yes.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon?
Yes.
And Councilmember Hefner.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-18 is passed. Thank you, council. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2024-19. Would you read the title, please?
A resolution appointing the mayor and wastewater superintendent to the Mid-Arkansas Water Alliance Board of Directors.
I make a motion, we accept Resolution 2024-19.
I second.
Okay, we have motion second. Is there any discussion?
No,
Excuse me?
on water wastewater superintendent, would be. can we
Turn your
say-
mic on, please.
Water wastewater superintendent, can we substitute that one for public works director?
We can. Yes, sir. Change the wording from, that's an administrative, just change it from water wastewater superintendent to public works. Yes, sir.
Director.
Right.
Or whatever it is, yes.
Any further discussion? Here, call a roll, please.
Councilmember Rubel?
Yes.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon?
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner?
Yes.
And Councilmember Brooke.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-19 has been approved as presented. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2024-20. Would you read the title, please?
A resolution authorizing the demolition of the city-owned facility located at 100 Owen Ward, Arkansas.
Council, we're asking other people to get rid of blight. We have our own. And so this is on the table tonight. We'll discuss another building in a little bit. This is the Girl Scout hut. That was a movie theater back in the day. I know that the previous administration tried to put on the historical rest. It's not eligible. It is falling down. This gives us authority to take steps to have it demoed. Some rules to be applied. We're going to have to get a asbestos assessment on it. If there's asbestos, we'll have to, work through that. But because it is a real property, it requires your action.
Is this just authorizing to begin the process? Obviously, you have to pay for that, so there's going to be a cost associated.
Right.
So will that come back to the committee then?
If it's
the council?
not above my spending authority. If it's below my spending authority, then we'll just go ahead and take it done based off the resolution. If it gets above $10,000, then yes, sir, we'll have to come back. It probably will be true. Yeah,
With the asbestos.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it's got asbestos. I'm going to assume it does. But my intent is after it's taken down, I'd like to see that area, and we'll come back to council and talk about it, be a community garden area.
I got daffodils.
There you go. Be the new Ray Mountain. Was it Rye Mountain? Why? Why Mountain?
I make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. And a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman,
Yes.
Councilmember McMinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke,
Yes.
and Councilmember Rubel.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-20 is passed on as presented. Thank you, council. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2024-21. Read title, please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and/or city clerk of the city of Ward to enter into a contract to purchase one sewer jetter with trailer.
Mr. Bruce, would you come forward, please?
Yeah, so basically we're needing a new sewer jetter. The one we have is, it's got a lot of issues and it's pretty old, probably something like 20 to 30 years old. We've maintenance it, really can't get parts for it anymore. And, we would really like a new one, and we went and got several quotes here, and all of them are comparable, but, the one here, significantly cheaper, it's like $31,109 compared to some of the others that were $57,000. I think there was one that was
Are the warranties the same?
yeah, and the only real difference between those is really the diesel engine versus a gasoline engine. So there's really no need for a diesel engine. The pump and components will wear out before the diesel engine would, so there's really no point having a diesel engine.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve. Excuse me, go ahead.
What are you gonna do with the old jetter?
Little City, Road.
If the old
Yeah,
jetter,
if it can do well enough as far as, pressure output, we're hoping the street department can utilize it on some culverts and whatnot.
so you're going to give them an inoperable piece of equipment that's hard to maintain and hard to get parts?
Well, it's not inoperable, but it doesn't have the pressure output like it should.
It might be good for cleaning out culverts, but cleaning out sewer
I
lines.
just think just get rid of it altogether.
And if that comes to that, we'll do that.
We can do that as well. Basically, on the sewer side for cleaning lines, you need to have enough pressure to where it can pull itself down the line. And that one, it's so, the hose is so big and it's so weak on pressure, these guys are manually having to try to shove it in there. It's very difficult, labor intensive.
Maybe use it for washing cars?
No,
No,
no.
What is, for the new one, what's your time frame on its usefulness?
But that's hard to say. Maintained and, fixing, there's no reason why it shouldn't last 20 years.
If you properly maintain this equipment, it'll last. It also depends how much you have to use it. Unfortunately, we have to use it a lot.
Yeah, the existing one, it's, you know, it's got like a 4-cylinder car engine on it, right? It's just super inefficient. These modern ones are like, you know, kind of like your V twin motor engines, you know, and it's just, yeah, that one's pretty ancient.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2024-21.
Motion.
A motion, we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon?
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner?
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke?
Yes.
Councilmember Rubel?
Yes.
And Councilmember Hall.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-21 has been approved. Thank you, council. Next on the agenda is Resolution 2024-22. Would you read the title, please?
A resolution authorizing the mayor and/or city clerk of the city of Ward to enter into a contract to purchase an automated siren activation system.
Council, I make no bones about this. In past times and other times, I've not liked sirens. I think they're outdated and antiquated. However, if we have them, I've always maintained, if we're going to have them, we're going to maintain them and they're going to work properly, which we have been. Technology has gone a little higher now. This actually, through this system, once activated by Polygon automatically, there'll be emails, text, and Facebook postings put out automatically. So the argument that they're only for outside is still true, but now it reaches inside and everybody gets notified that way. I just think with the technology the way it is today, this is a good deal. Also, it'll be tested daily through the software, silent testing. If there's issues, it brings back an error message and we get right on it. This is insurance.
So I want to make a motion on this one to table it till next month because I want to research it a little bit more and I have reasons. Well, my reasons expand past that.
Okay?
So multiple times in Dallas, they have this system and it's been hacked. 172 sirens going off. A city in Oklahoma had theirs hacked and it played the SpongeBob theme song for 2 hours. I want to research it and see and look at it and see if they have made it to where it's a little bit more.
Well, I would bet you both the Oklahoma City one, I think Oklahoma City was, and Dallas are voice, where they could put voice, like giant voice out the air base, Casey will remember that. But these aren't voice, these are just sound. So there's no way to put a voice over it. So.
Well, I'm looking at the one in Dallas, and the last time that one happened was in 2021, and 152 sirens going off in the city and sending messages to everybody that there's a tornado impending.
Fortunately, we don't have 152, we have 3.
But still.
Maybe 4 if we move forward not also.
And I'm sure that there's some computer hackers in the area that would find that funny to set those off. So I just want to send it off another month just to kind of look at it a little more in depth.
My only thought about
to
sending it
see.
off another month is sending it off another month during spring season.
But the ones we have now are operable, correct?
They are.
I don't see why
There's-
we can't suspend it then. I think it'd be a good idea to suspend it for.
Is that a motion to table?
It is. A motion
Okay, so
to
we have a
table it
motion
till next
to
month.
table this resolution. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion, a second to table. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McMahon?
Yes.
Councilmember Hefner?
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke?
Yes.
Councilmember Rubel?
Yes.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
And Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
We will table resolution 2024-22.
What's their timeline from when we tell them we want it to their implementation?
End of May.
Something like that. Was that what it was? Okay. Yeah, and they're still, I mean, we still have sirens. Only thing this does is, doesn't make it active or automated, excuse me.
And I just want to add to that I mean, there's already, because this is being recorded and there's people watching, there's already, with the National Weather Service and all that, where you can get text messages and emails and all that stuff, and all it costs you is your standard messaging rates right now.
Which,
So,
Yeah, which has been my argument all along with sirens in particular, because everybody has a smartphone anymore, or they will have, and our medium age now is, what, 27.9, and they all got space. But, like I said, this reaches out automatically and puts it just a little bit further into the house, and our sirens go off, and they're good.
Well, I still stand outside until I hear the sirens.
You're like the rest of us and go outside when the sirens run?
She'll see the lightning and stuff.
Okay.
Even after years of that. With her phone.
Okay, Ms. Hefner, thank you. Okay, moving forward. Let's see where we're at. Oh, there we are. Thank you. Discussion on expanding the wastewater treatment plant building to accommodate water ops. Kind of same theme about, and there's a resolution behind this. Is tearing down those storage buildings over at water ops because they're a blight. And in the same process, Bruce is working on plans and moving the water ops guys completely down into the wastewater treatment plant, so both those crews will be together. I have looked at, with Bond Engineering, what the cost might be to expand that building and to put additional covered space, parking down there for covered equipment with cement, because we get into some Department of Education, Department of Health rules about oil on the ground and things like that. We got to get rid of that. So we're going to move forward with that, get an engineering study on that. So I need a couple things. First, I need a authorization to get with Bond Engineering and do a plan up for expanding that building down there and building parking and storage areas for our equipment.
Motion.
Yes.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move forward with that. With that, the next one is, let me back up just a bit. I did ask a realtor friend of mine to give, I forget what it's called, but it's basically an estimate on what they thought if we decide to sell that building, the whole entire area down there. Looks like about 180,000, maybe, is what it'll bring. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But let's get some cleanup started first and get that area expanded. Then we can talk about selling that piece of property, and maybe some commercial business will come in there. All right, moving forward, Resolution 2024-24, I have 23, that's 23, excuse me. Go ahead.
A resolution authorizing the demolition of the city-owned water operations storage area.
Same things before, folks. Need authorization.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hefner,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooke,
No.
Excuse me?
No.
Okay.
Did you want to discuss?
Councilmember Rubel,
Yes.
Councilmember Hall,
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman,
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon,
Yes.
5-1.
yes.
Okay. Motion carries. 2024-23 resolution is approved. Thank you, council. Next on the agenda, speaking of sirens, in the same company, I don't think anybody, well, Robin was on council, I think at the time or before then, when North Little Rock gave us some old sirens. This same company that we're talking about doing the software through also does installation, and they can take one of the donated horns and retrofit it and put it onto a system and put it on a brand new pole at the water treatment plant, which will provide us an additional siren on that area of town.
Will it be connected, you said?
Yes, it will. And if we go forward with the software, it'll all be connected.
Motion?
Can we table,
Pardon?
Sorry.
right, can we table this one?
Can
we table this one also, like we did the other one, because it kind of corresponds with the other one anyway?
it does and it does, I mean, just, well, yeah, we can. Are you making that a motion?
Making a motion to table
Second.
resolution, yeah, 24-24.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda, I don't have it on the slide, but next on the agenda is an RDOT call for projects. You know, we talked about last RDOT call for projects, or actually it's Metro Plan call, putting some sidewalks on this side of the railroad tracks, and it didn't work out because it didn't connect. We got to figure out a way to make a connection from one side to the other. What I'd like to do is put in a proposal to RDOT for an engineering study on how to, and design study, on how to make a sidewalk crossing at the Moore Street Railroad crossing. That'll involve not only us, RDOT, but the railroad, which is difficult to mess with. But we need to start off with the design, and part of this could be an engineering fee to get that process. And then a subsequent call for projects down the road, we can start talking about getting sidewalks to connect. But we got to get the ability to get across the railroad tracks. And putting it down here on Payne Street is not going to happen with the lakes there. It's not.
You know, it's ironic because I keep bringing this back up because to me it's really important. This morning I was coming through the intersection, and there's a lady on an electric wheelchair trying to come into my lane to get across the tracks. And I'm thinking, we've got to do something.
This is a first step. This will be a first step to get a bona fide sidewalk crossing across the railroad track, which is going to take some time, but we got to have an engineer design it out.
Now, Moore is where the Girl Scout thing is?
Correct.
That'll?
Yeah, by the fire station.
Well, I'm just thinking if we make that a garden.
Right. So what do y'all think? I think that's a good use of a project for this time, and we can get half engineering, which we've worked with on these type of projects, to work that up for us to submit that and see if we get approved for that. So with that, I entertain a motion to approve myself to press forward with a project to get a design of a sidewalk across the railroad tracks.
Motion.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
A second. Any further discussion?
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
So, I mean, I get it. I know that we can't go across there, but is there some way that we're going to be able to close that off? Because I feel like it's going to be one of those things like, why did they put that down there when nobody goes down that way to cross the railroad?
Well, this will also open up that we can run sidewalks down to there then and make that connection.
I know, but still, are we going to put something where it blocks people from trying to cross there by the ponds? Because you're still going to have the same problem.
No, I don't think so. I don't
think we can. The problem is that they're going to use the road, whether we block anything off or not.
Right.
They're still going to go out there in the road. There just got to be a better way. I don't know.
If we provide them with an ability to go to down,
I'm
a
just
few
saying,
blocks
are
and
they
over.
going to use it even if we
I don't
do
know.
it?
Could the study be options for both areas?
Their half inch area is very explicit. That is not, it doesn't have enough space to put a crossing in wide enough for the proper width for a sidewalk with the ponds right there. Just is not going to happen.
Is there any law that could be posted that you can't?
You can't keep people off the road.
Yeah,
Those are suggestions.
that would also be a suggestion. I think if we provide, in time a crossing down on Moore Street, then we can encourage people to go down there instead of crossing there. But you're right, they're still going to cross it. It's not what we can do about it.
I know we're not at the magnitude of like, some of the areas up in Northwest Arkansas, because, there's a park that is actually on the railroad tracks.
Right.
There, and they have all the gating and everything. It's like a double gating, so that you can't cross over it, a kid can't cross over it. It always makes me anxious there, that whole area. Makes me really anxious, and the more we put sidewalks and the more people have the availability to go down to the pond, I feel like that we have a mess already there that we need to clean that mess up. And if we're trying to reroute, then what's the plan to make all that happen?
Well, there's sidewalks in phase, 5 going down Brewer Street? So that's getting down toward that area.
Just spitballing a little bit.
With your mic on? Okay. Okay, thank you.
I hit the button, it didn't come on.
Okay.
We got that wide area, just, south of the intersection there, the wide spot between the railroad tracks and the road.
Okay.
So who owns the property just south of the pond? Is there I don't remember if there's a buffer there or not.
Not much of one, if there is. I mean, it's still part of the
So,
pond.
what I'm getting at is moving a crossing down just a little past the pond, where it's not an intersection, but we've got a crossing, it's a,
I will bet you, and I don't know this, but I'll bet you we would have to put crossing guards at our expense, where there's already crossing guards at the one on Moore Street.
I don't know that they would be as extravagant as what the railroad, like the traffic way would be. I mean, you could have
I can
magnetic
ask,
gates or
what I
whatever
can do,
that close.
I can ask Half Engineering, they got
So, I'm just
experience.
curious that, I mean, on that end of town, that seems to be where you got more of your pedestrian traffic anyway.
It's 'cause
or
the
that you
sidewalks are
see
there.
it.
Yeah,
Just thought that might be an option to look at.
that's true too.
So,
I know might be off the wall, but is there no option to fill part of the pond in down on that end?
I don't think the city owns the one on the left.
We do not, but no.
I know, but I mean, it can't be that deep on the one side or the other either, though. If you did any kind of trusses that went over it, I don't know. I just feel like I feel like that's great that we're gonna have a crossing, but is it great if it's in a place that's not used and whatever, and we're spending the money on it, or we're trying to get stuff to go? I don't know.
I don't know, if we put a sidewalk crossing right there and filled in part of the pond, you'd have to fill all the way around the corner, because you'd have to have sidewalks.
Or even,
The other end of the pond?
build a walkway over the pond, the fish would love that to hide under.
I just see it on that side of town, it's more effective to have a crossing there.
Well,
there's
and
all
again,
kinds
they're
of
all
things we
coming
can-
there because of the pond. They're not coming there because of the sidewalks.
They're going to Dollar General.
They are going to Dollar General,
That's the thing.
Right. So that they can get stuff to fish with, so they can get chicken livers and hot dogs to fish with.
now they go down to the bait shop for that.
Either way, they're crossing right
Dollar General has them.
Yeah, it's just separate. Dollar General is about to close for a week for remodel, complete remodel. 24th or something like that.
What kind of cost would we be looking for going over?
Woo! I wouldn't even imagine.
Let's imagine.
I don't have a clue. How's
Surely
that?
there's gotta be some grants out there for something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we can ask that question, but,
I know Jerry had mentioned he would like to see one, like start behind
That's red.
the new bait shop, the new tobacco behind the Dollar General, and go across. Pedestrian.
yeah, that gets onto personal property on the other side. We'd have to get easements and all that kind of good stuff for it. I mean, everything's possible.
Well, who owns that?
Nothing's impossible without money.
Who owns that, bridge, the little greasy pond?
The people that live right there. Quite frankly, I'm not sure who owns it personally, by name.
I just think we need, we sit around and say, well, we can't, and I agree with you, I understand the difficulty, but there is a need. Somebody's gonna get hit. I mean, something's gonna happen. There's a lot of traffic there. We need to be able to feed them some way across, because there's no walk path, at all.
I mean, I can ask Half Engineering we've had conversation about that, but I can ask them to kind of look outside the box and see if there's any way to do if you do an over, let's think about this too. That's not gonna be a ramp, because you got an ADA compliant. So it has to be zigzag back and forth. Your footprint's gonna be pretty good size for that. So I don't don't think we have the space down on the other side of our pond to do that, and that's,
What about going over Bisbee?
again, when you go over railroad tracks, you're gonna have to have high enough to get above the trains and zigzag because of ADA.
14, 16 foot there.
Yeah, then you go zigzag it to, if the railroad will approve that. That's what we can do. I mean, we can still press on with this Moore Street and see what design they come up on then. With also asking the question, what other alternatives might there be? Is that fair enough?
Yeah, because who would be involved if we took off Bisbee at one of those jetties and just went straight across and then had the railroad stop not going way up?
You're talking about some kind of walkway across the lake and then crossing again, get into the, probably cross arms, and I'm not sure.
Well, there
I don't know.
wouldn't be any
I can't speak for railroad, obviously, but I can see, I mean, there's a major cost in putting something across the lake too. That I'm pretty sure RDOT's not gonna pay for that. Now, there are other potential grants for that, but,
Could we not ask the railroad for some guidance and explain the situation to them?
my understanding, and it's just my understanding, railroad doesn't really like to talk to anybody. For instance, the intersection we currently have with the traffic light has not been turned over to us yet, because the railroad hasn't signed off on it.
It's horrible.
Pardon me?
It's horrible. You set there, if you're going down 367, you set halfway through the train for the left turn.
It's better than what it was. Much better. But that's and going back further, that whole area was designed out, and then all of a sudden one day the railroad shows up and says, oh, this is the worst, 8th worst intersection in the state. We have to design something new. When RDOT had already designed something, but the RDOT railroad side and Union Pacific hadn't been talking to each other. My understanding, this is just what I've been told, is getting railroad, Union Pacific in particular, to do anything, it just takes eons. I mean,
Because they own the property and they feel anybody crossing it's trespassing, so they don't care.
this is true. I'll be honest, I mean, even if we do a design on this, they come back and say, no, we're not doing that. But I think if we make it reasonable, at least a discussion we can have with them. If we start putting things over railroad track, that creates all kinds of logistics, especially from an ADA
Water takes
standpoint.
too high to go under it.
You're right. So,
Right, well, I get what you're saying, but it's like, everybody says, I cross that every day and I got a dog.
have to yield for the pedestrians.
Right, I mean, somebody's gonna get hurt. So I
Let's
feel
hope
we-
not.
I feel we have an obligation to at least pursue some options for that area.
Like I said, I'll ask half to give me their thoughts. We can brainstorm with them. In lieu of, with that though, can I get a motion to at least
Motion.
get a study going on, a design study going on for the Moore Street?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll go forward with this and I'll tell you next month what half has to say about this. Okay. Next on the agenda is economic development study discussion. Mr. Chapman, do you have anything for us, sir?
I spoke with Amy Williams, she's the manager with the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for our
Yes,
area.
turn your mic on.
Spoke with Amy Williams, she's the manager for our area with the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. She's, has a team and she'd like to come out for our meeting next month
Right.
and give us a presentation about some of the things she can do to help us, as a community, grow in those areas and develop better economically. So, well, I just want to get the board, council's and mayor's permission to have her, tell her that she can come out.
We'll put it on the agenda for next month, for sure. I will tell you also that Robin Havner's coming to mind. Courtney, my HR finance director, has also been tagged with being my economic developer too, so she'll be the point of contact. She's gone to a conference last year, she'll go to a conference this year on economic development. She'll be our point of contact on that, so.
Also, on the research I've done, and I've spoken to you about it before, one of the more important steps is to get an inventory of commercially viable property in the area. So I don't know.
I think
how
that
we-
Arkansas Economic can do that.
Can they?
I think Amy Williams Bunch can do that.
Awesome. All right. All right.
So we'll let her come next month and tell us what all they can do, and then we'll go from there.
All right, I'll get in contact with her, let her know, and, talk to Courtney, and we'll get it rolling.
We'll put her on the agenda. Very good. Council, next up is an establishment of a street parking committee. Let me, my intention is, we've got, and police chief and the fire chief, we've had conversations about this over the years. This has kind of been batted around back and forth for many years. What I'd like to do is establish a committee to explore what streets might be eligible, good idea to completely no parking, parking on one side, whatever. If that's okay with y'all. What I'd like to do is as you've seen on the agenda, the police chief would be the chair of the committee, fire chief would be a member, a council member, and then I'll appoint a planning commission member on there also.
Seems pretty easy, curbless streets, no parking on the road.
Well, there's more to that, I think. I think we need to be careful, and I've been on record before, and I've vetoed complete ban of parking in the city. I think that's an overreach of the government, and I won't do that. However, I think if that's a criteria that the committee comes up with, then the council can take a look at that. But I think the committee needs to take a bird's eye view of this, street by street, and make a decision on what they recommend to us. If that, I'd entertain a motion to establish the committee.
Motion.
We have a motion second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. And I'd like to ask for a volunteer to be on the committee. Ms. Hafner has volunteered to be on the committee, so that's good with y'all? Motion to accept her as on the committee.
Motion.
Motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I do have a question.
Sure.
Why is this coming up? Well, have we had to get an issue or something?
I've had some issues, yes, and the issue comes up every now and then, buses or whatever, fire equipment trying to get down through an area. I've had citizens contact me about parking in the area, and Chief and I have spoke about it several times, and it just, it comes up to service and then gets, it came to service again. I said, okay, I got to move forward with this. Instead of just me and him hashing it out, start a committee. Committee can meet at the behest of the chief and start working this issue and report on what they want to do.
Sounds good. I just want to say I'm against it from the beginning. I understand we need to get this stuff through, but, I even added on to my driveway. I've got 3 parking places in my driveway. But if I have family over to visit, they're going to park on the street. I ain't got nowhere else to park them. So
Well, like
I understand all that, but
There's some areas, subdivisions that you can park on the street because they're wide enough. Huntington, it's against their builder's assurance not to park on the street. It's not against the law, but their builder's assurance. I don't know if there's any other subdivisions that way, but I know Huntington does that. But we just need to look at it from a city perspective and make some recommendations.
Well, what was discussed in the past was they have a time limit. If you're having a party, you got 24 hours. So it's not a never.
There's some discussion on the pros and cons.
I understand all that. And I realize the safety. The fire truck's got to be able to get to where they need to be. I'm just saying it really makes it difficult because we have this problem in Beebe, and it's just a constant problem that we're having to deal with as officers.
Would you pass those? Okay. Council, in front of you is, there you go, is this year's my 2024 State of the City report. I mistakenly said State of the Union report earlier, and I'm not that high up on the food chain. State of the City report. I will report just basically, city's in good shape. Financially, we're in great shape. Do we have things to do? Absolutely. The report is chock full of charts and all kinds of stuff. Feel free to read it. It'll be posted on our website tomorrow.
Pretty colors.
Well, thank you. And if you have any questions about what is in there, you can certainly contact me. But you can take that home and read it at your leisure. Next on the agenda is the mayor's report. Starts 4 sidewalk project. Construction plans are still being drawn up. They're at 30%. They're waiting at the state. I had an email traffic from the state this week asking about it, and they admitted they are sitting on it and they haven't moved off of it. Can't get RDOT to move on this one. Kind of same thing on Sarge 5. RDOT hasn't told us to go out for bids yet, so the engineer hasn't been able to do that. Meter replacement project, about 2,340 meters as of the end of February have been installed. We estimate this completed no later than July, probably sooner. Once it's said and done, it'll be, again, I've told this many, many times, it'll be great. The AEDC award of $500,000 remained to remove the remaining homes off vacuum. We had to resubmit, as you know. We called you in on a special meeting for a resolution to resubmit that. That has been submitted and accepted. So at the ANRD, they have that to review. We'll see what that comes up with. The 2024 street project, I haven't got a start date on that yet. Also, just to give you an update on Highway 38, I got an update from RDOT this afternoon. They're, of course, starting on the east end of it because the feds are making them do some experimenting with different asphalts. So they're experimenting out there in Prairie County and that area out there on some long stretches with different, I don't know, mixtures of asphalt or whatever before they get down here. So I hope they get it fixed and figure out which one's the best before they get down here. But it's coming. It'll just be a while. That same company got the award to do our street aid, and so they'll get to us when they get to us. They have till, it's an open contract. There's a bunch of different streets in different cities. They have till November to get it done. And we did submit the 2025 street aid project to the committee. Of course, they don't meet until November or so, and quite frankly, I don't anticipate getting approved on this one this year. But if there's extra money left over and our name's in the hat, you never know. Unified Development Ordinance, Jerry talked a little about that. They did review the map. And if you notice on the mayor's report, there's some steps for the zoning map. Planning Commission review this month. Then we'll have a public comment period at City Hall, followed by a review of the public comments by the Planning Commission. Then have a couple of public hearings at City Council room here for zoning map only. The Planning Commission review the public comments and hearings and make recommendations to the council. And the council will have an opportunity to approve the zoning map later on. The UDO in itself in its entirety is being reviewed also with the Planning Commission, and that timeline has not been set yet. That's a process still going. License plate reader, we're still waiting on the one. It's in the works, according to Flock, to put it up. I think Councilmember Rubel has some good information from BB or something. It was on the news, wasn't it?
Yeah, I woke Steve up this morning about 5:30, but the Fox 16 showed up over there and was talking about the crimes that we've solved with it and nationwide good stuff about flock cameras, and anybody is welcome to go on their website, check out what they were saying. It's all good stuff about flock.
Just get them installed.
Yeah, if we just get installed, and then one's been approved, it's on Flock's installment team's calendar. They won't tell what day it is. And the other three were approved by RDOT and then pulled back. So I don't know what that's about. And I've been asking Flock about it, and I've asked RDOT about it too, and they're reviewing it. Go back to the sidewalk projects that RDOT's reviewing and setting on. I don't know how that works. Consolidated 911 Center, process continues. I notice I have a meeting coming up next week on this, and we'll move forward with that. The June 2003 windstorm event, we submitted a claim to be reimbursed by FEMA for $43,000. We would estimate our reimbursement at $32,000. FEMA updated the claim with the new 2023 FEMA rates, and now our estimated reimbursement is $37,559. The federal government actually updated in the middle. I was impressed. Do what? That happens rarely. Council, also, this room right here, the Board of Corrections, the Department of Corrections has people who will make tables and desks and all kinds of neat stuff. If you've ever been to Austin's City Council room, they have a very nice council sitting area. They were here today. We're going to talk about them designing a new table for this up here. But in light of that, I would like to go out for an RFP and see what getting this entire room remodeled and brought up to other than the 1970s paneling with new flooring and all that. We might do that too. That'll be an option. But anyway, council, with your approval, I will press forward to do an RFP or get bids out on that. And like I said, the new desk that the Department of Correction makes, what did I say, $2,000? Roughly $2,000 for entire, I mean, it's inexpensive, but it's very good material.
You need a motion?
Yeah, I need a motion to go forward with remodel this building.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. And of course, if it's over my spending limit, it comes back to you anyway. Say what? Potentially. All right, that's my report for this week, or this month, whatever. Don't forget, it is election season for you all. Do we have any public input? No. All right. Announcements. Planning Commission meets next week. The egg extravaganza in the park is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the 30th. March 31st, Easter, Great American Eclipse. By the way, we've held some meetings on the Great American Eclipse. We have pulled our ads for an RV park. Nobody's signing up, so we're just pulling them, and we'll see what happens on that. If somebody may want to park there, we'll individually talk to them. We're concerned about the fact we have nobody sign up, and weather looks like extended forecast, it may get wet, and getting a bunch of RVs out in that area is going to be problematic, to say the least. So we've scaled back our response, but not totally. We're still ready. The police department is being ready. We're going to still have a 12-hour dispatch during that weekend. Fire department is still going to be fully manned by volunteers. Not paying anybody. They're just going to be there anyway. The rest of the staff will be available. Water, wastewater guys will be available to respond if need be. But I think Steve and I spoke, and probably our problem area is going to be the intersection of Moore Street and 367. We think, and if that's the case, then we'll hit bodies out there to direct traffic the best we can. But
Usually they're smart enough and they pull over to the side of the road.
I'm just talking about when it's said and done and people are leaving, just the traffic itself. And that's what we think. We don't know, and nobody knows until it's going to happen. But just to let you know, we have scaled that back somewhat, or a lot, for the eclipse. In any case, citywide cleanup is April 27th, from 8 to 3. Oh, back up. April 19th, blood drive. What time? 10:30 to 2:30, I think. Roughly 10:30 to 2:30. Go sign up, you can, give blood, it's a good thing. And you get a free t-shirt out of the deal, so there you go. Yeah, I can't give. Anyway, The Great Escape, next meeting is April 16th at 6:30. We have anything else that needs to come before this council tonight? Hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Let's go home, guys. Thank you very much.